My name is Asamat, and today I'm going to answer a question that a lot of people ask me from time to time. Different students who are interested in jazz guitar, especially, ask me what's this thing about Drop-2 voicings, Drop-3 voicings, Drop-2 and 4. Where do they come from? How do you get these chords, and what are they for? So I'll answer these two questions. Number one is, how do you get these voicings, why they are called by those terms, and also how to use it. So I'm going to show some examples of that. So to start off, I'm just going to use a C major 7 chord in what's called a closed position. And this is how it is. It's C, E, G, B. So on the fretboard, I'm holding the notes C, E, G, and B. It's on the 10th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret, and 7th fret. So this is the closest I can put these four notes, C, E, G, and B. They're all in one octave. This is called closed voicing, 4-part closed voicing. There's no way I can put any of the notes any closer in this order, meaning the lowest note C, if I want to put the next note nearest to it, it would be the E, next note would be the G and the B. So this is a closed voicing. Now the thing about the guitar is that closed voicings, for this particular chord, C major 7, this is playable, this is a doable voicing. But as soon as you go into an inversion meaning to invert the notes, instead of starting on the C, to start on the E instead. So if I did E, G, B, and if I want to put C right next to it, if I want to play it as a voicing, as a chord, one after the other, I would get E, G, B, and C. Now if you look at my hands right now, my left hand, it's stretchy. It's all stretched out. It's kind of difficult for most people to just grab this chord. Now there are exceptions. People like Ellen Holsworth, Dan Monder, they are fans of these kind of voicings. But for most people, when you go into other inversions like this, close voicing inversions, it gets tricky, it gets difficult, so it's not very practical. If you go on to the next one, you have G, B, C, E. It's also stretchy, not so easy to play. And when it goes to the B, C, E, G, it's almost like, this is how I would get the voicing. I would have to tap the B. One of the ways to do it would be like this. And so if I want to stretch it out, it's difficult to do it there. I could possibly do it here, still very difficult. And so on the guitar, instead of using these closed position voicings, 4-part closed voicings they call them, which are actually very easy on the piano, but on the guitar they're harder. So we use a voicing type called Drop-2 voicings. So these are the most common kinds of voicings. So back to the C major 7 chord, instead of playing it like this, we will lower the second note from the top of the chord, meaning that the highest note is the B, second highest note is the G, and I'll drop the G down an octave. So the G was here. If I play it one octave lower, I get here. So I get the G here. The rest of it, C, E, and B, remain in the same place, but now I have this. I have G, C, E, B. So all I did was the second note from the top of this inversion, I brought it down one octave, Drop-2, hence the term Drop-2. Now, I would get this fingering, or alternatively, sometimes more common one is this one, where I have E, C, G, C, E, B. Now, because of the G being the lowest note, I would call it a C major 7, that's the chord, Drop-2 voicing, because the second note was dropped from the top of the original closed position, and this is now in second inversion, meaning the lowest note of this voicing is a G. So slowly, C major 7 is the chord, Drop-2 is the voicing type, and it's in second inversion, so you get that. Now, going into that, if I did this with the other inversions, the other inversions of closed voicings, for example, this one just now, which is G, B, C, E. If I lower the second note from the top, the C goes down an octave, I actually get this one, which is a very common C major 7, C, G, D, E, C major 7 voicing. So that's how you get this standard C major 7 voicing in terms of thinking of it from a theory perspective. So if I play all the inversions of C major 7, it'll be so not only should you know the chords, but you should know them in all the inversions like this. And you notice that these ones, except for this one, a little stretchy, but not as challenging as the close position, 4-part close voicings initially that I showed you just now. So this is one voicing type, drop-2 voicings. I can also do this from the close voicing just now to drop the third note from the top. From the highest note, the third note from the top would be an E. If I drop that for one octave lower, I would get the E here. This is the voicing I'll get. Another more common fingering would be like this. So it's E, C, G, B, or E, C, G, B. If I move that an inversion lower, this is where you get this common C major 7 voicing, which is on the 8th fret C, then it goes to 9th fret B, E, and G. It's this C major 7 voicing. And this has another set of inversions as well, which is also much more playable than the initial close voicings. So this is another type, it's called Drop-3 voicings. The last one that I use from time to time, but not as much, but I'm slowly starting to get into it a bit more, is one that's called Drop-2&4. So back to the C major 7 voicing. If I drop the second note from the top, I get that, or this, which is a drop-2 voicing. That's the second note. 2 and 4 means I drop the C as well. So I go into here, and the C was the 4th note, and I end up with this voicing. So it becomes C, G, E, B. And this is now a C major 7, drop 2 and 4 voicing in root position because C is the lowest note. And this is a nice, very interesting kind of big sound that not too many people play this voicing type. But it is extremely interesting, I think. Just the sound itself is interesting, and people don't play it as much. I know I don't play it as much. I play this particular inversion a lot, but the other inversions, not as much. Something that I would like to get into a bit more. But they sound really good. And these ones are drop 2 and 4 voicings. So what we covered is we started off, just to recap the lesson today, that we have a C major 7 voicing. Close as possible is called 4-part close. It's a close voicing. And by lowering the second note from the top, the G, you get a drop 2 voicing. If you lower the third note from the top, you get a drop 3 voicing. And then if you lower the second and 4th note, you get a drop 2 and 4. And these are all the different kinds of voicings you can use. So that answers the first question. How do you get these voicings? Second part is, how do you use these voicings? So I'm going to show you just some demonstration. So I'm not going to teach you necessarily how to use it, but just to demonstrate how I might use these voicings in my jazz playing. So the drop 2 voicings, let's say you have a 1-chord song, it doesn't happen too much, but in case you have a 1-chord vamp, C major 7, I could just stay there and just and that's nice, but I could also move in the inversions. So I have a bit more variety, and I'm going through the inversions rather than just being in one voicing. And this works with all these different kinds of voicing types. Drop-3. And for Drop-3 voicings, I like to do this kind of stuff as well. You know, just like swing kind of sounds. For the Drop-2 and 4, I like to play it actually more as lines. So it sounds quite modern. It has a bit of I guess Calvin, Joe Diorio kind of vibe, and a bit of Tim Miller. So the point is that these voicings are colors, and you can use them in different kinds of songs, different kind of purposes. It depends what you want to do with it. But the most important thing about the voicings is that you have to physically be able to execute them. You must be able to play the chords first. After you can play the chords, then you start experimenting, and then that's where you will find a way of using it in different kinds of songs. If you can't play them yet, it's very difficult to even imagine using them. I remember when I first learned Drop-2 voicings, you know, they sounded okay, but I couldn't fit them anywhere until I kept playing them again and again, and then I started figuring out how to connect them. And that's the gist of it. Learn the voicings, and it will slowly get into your playing. Listen to players who use this. Any jazz musician like Loon, Kurt Rosenwinkel, Wes Montgomery, Bill Frisell, they all use these kind of chords to some extent or another, or some version of it. And so hopefully this lesson has given an introduction to the kind of voicings that are available. Below this video, if you're on my website, asamadlessons.com, below this video is a set of PDFs for C minor 7 with the different inversions and the voicing types that you can check out, and you can practice that. And there'll be more lessons just like this on asamadlessons.com. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or a question below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment, like it, share it, and do visit my website, asamadlessons.com, for more stuff just like this. Sign up on the mailing list. So thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped you out. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Till next time. My name is Samad, again from asamadlessons.com. See you next time. Bye.